Students, this is Chapter 9, Minerals and Energy Resources Part 2. We are going to discuss conventional sources, coal and petroleum, its distribution, advantages and disadvantages. Non-conventional sources such as solar, wind, nuclear and biogas, its generation and advantages. Energy is an essential input for industrial and economic development and for improving the standard of living. Energy output is obtained from the commercial sources like coal, petroleum, and electricity. Per capita consumption of commercial energy is sometimes used as an index of economic development of a country. The energy sources which cannot be compensated once these are used after the exploitation are termed as conventional energy sources. For example, coal, petroleum, and natural gas. Conventional sources are exhaustible. They cause pollution when used as they emit smoke and ash. They are very expensive to be maintained, stored, and transmitted. Coal. During the 17th century, coal energy became the heart of industrial revolution. It became the primary source of energy for households and industries in equal measure. With its easy availability and low cost, none felt the need to think of its alternative. But now, in 21st century, human race has woken up to the hazards of global warming, depleting mineral resources, and need to cut down carbon emissions. Though coal is still a predominant energy resource around the world, the researchers and policymakers have started searching for alternatives. India is the third largest producer of coal in the world. Coal is an inflammable organic substance composed mainly of hydrocarbons, found in the form of sedimentary rocks and capable of being used as a fuel to supply heat or light or both. It also contains volatile matter, moisture and ash in varying portions. Combustible matter in coal consists of carbon and hydrogen. Coal is the main source of power generation in India. Most of the industries, for example, iron and steel, and variety of chemical industries depend upon the availability of coal for their intake of power. Depending upon the percentage of carbon present, four varieties of coal are available. First one is anthracite. This is the best quality of coal and contains over 80% carbon. It is very hard, compact, jet black coal having semi-metallic luster. It ignites slowly and burns with a nice short blue flame. It has the highest heating value and is the most prized among all varieties of coal. In India, it is found only in Jammu and Kashmir, and that too in small quantity. Next is bituminous coal. This is the most widely used coal and contains 60 to 80% carbon. It is dense, compact, brittle, and is usually of black color. A good bituminous coal is composed of alternate dull and bright bands. It does not have the traces of original vegetable material from which it has been formed. Its calorific value is very high due to high proportion of carbon and low moisture content. By virtue of this quality, bituminous coal is used only for steam raising and heating purposes, but also for production of coke and gas. Most of the bituminous coal is found in Bihar, Orissa, West Bengal, and Madhya Pradesh. Lignite, also known as brown coal. Lignite is lower grade coal and contains about 60% carbon. It represents the intermediate stage in the alteration of woody matter into coal. Its color varies from dark to black brown. It is friable and contains a good deal of moisture and less combustible matter. These qualities make it liable to disintegrate on exposure and even to spontaneous combustion. It is found in Palna of Rajasthan, Neyveli of Tamil Nadu, Lakhimpur of Assam, and Karewa of Jammu and Kashmir. Peat. This is the first stage of transformation of wood into coal and contains 50 to 60% carbon. It is seldom sufficiently compact to make a good fuel without compressing into bricks. Left to itself, it burns like wood, gives less heat, emits more smoke, and leaves a lot of ash after burning. In India, Jharkhand, Orissa, West Bengal, and Madhya Pradesh account for nearly 90% of coal reserves. Uses. Coal is used in generation of power. It is used in generation of electric power for mineral based industries like iron and steel and cement industries. The demand of coal for railways has been reduced due to electrification of railways. Coal mining is hazardous. It can be dangerous due to occurrence of poisonous gases in the mines. Indian coal is mostly associated with Gondwana series of rocks and is primarily found in peninsular India. About 2% Indian coal is of tertiary type and is found in Assam and Jammu and Kashmir. The Gondwana coal is mainly bituminous or anthracite, in which the carbon content varies between 60 to 90%. Distribution of coal, Gondwana coal fields. Jharkhand has the largest reserves of coal, 33.53% in India. The main coal fields are Jharia, Bokaro, Giridih, and Karanpura. In Chhattisgarh, the main coal field is Korba. In Tatapani, Rampur. In Odisha, the main coal field are Talcher and Sambalpur. In Madhya Pradesh, Singrauli and Sholapur are the main coal fields. Others are Pench Valley and Shahdol. In West Bengal, 18% of India's coal reserves are in Raniganj. In Maharashtra, Wardha Valley, Mahapari, Kampti Unrer, and Chandrapur. Coal is also found in Andhra Pradesh. Tertiary coal fields are new and mostly consist of lignite and peat. They have less carbon content, hence are of poor quality. These deposits are found in Raisi in Kashmir, Lakhimpur in Assam, Namchik in Arunachal Pradesh, Borjan and Tinsang in Nagaland, Balphak and Darangari in Meghalaya, Palu in Rajasthan, Neyveli, Jayamkonda and Mannargudi and Viranam in Tamil Nadu. Advantages of coal energy. It is a primary energy source. Coal supplies around 30% of the primary energy needs all over the world, generating 40% of electricity. Affordable and stable prices. Unlike other energy resources, coal is still the cheapest mineral. Also, unlike other minerals, its prices in the open market remain more or less stable. Easy to burn. Coal has a high calorific value. Thus, we get more energy by burning a small quantity of coal as compared to other sources. No dependence on climatic conditions. Unlike wind, solar, or hydel energy, one is not dependent on existing climatic conditions for mining coal. Coal is versatile. Coal is mainly used for generating electricity, and its byproduct, coal tar, is used to produce phenol, creosote oil, naphthalene, and other chemicals. It reduces dependence on oil. It is safer as compared to nuclear energy. Disadvantages of coal energy. Environmental impact. Burning coal emits harmful waste such as carbon dioxide, sulfuric acid, arsenic, ash, nitrogen oxide, and sulfur dioxide. Emissions of CO2 from coal burning also accounts for additional 65% of carbon dioxide in atmosphere, increasing greenhouse gases. The pollution it causes also may lead to acid rain in some areas. Coal mining impact. The coal seams are surrounded by plants, rivers, and other natural landscapes, and digging for coal may destroy forest areas that serve as wildlife habitat. It affects the ecosystem and biodiversity. Transporting coal would need an extensive transportation system that is likely to pass through mountains and valleys. Building such infrastructure would destroy the landscape and increase pollution due to emissions of various vehicles. Impact on miners' health. Underground mining is prone to cave ins and explosions. The health of people living close to mines is at risk. Constant exposure to harmful gases can lead to respiratory diseases, lung cancer, black lung cancer due to coal dust, and congestive heart failure. Non-renewable source. Although widely available at present, coal deposits are depleting fast. Hence, although coal was the fuel of the 20th century, the present and future generations need to find safer and renewable alternatives to it. Petroleum or mineral oil. The word petroleum has been derived from two Latin words, petrol meaning rock and oleum meaning oil. Thus, petroleum is the oil obtained from rocks, particularly sedimentary rocks of the earth. Therefore, it is called mineral oil. Technically speaking, petroleum is an inflammable liquid that is composed of hydrocarbons which constitute 90 to 95% of petroleum, and the remaining is chiefly compounds containing oxygen, nitrogen, and sulfur. Uses of petroleum. Petroleum and petroleum products are mainly used as locomotive power. It has revolutionized transportation on land, air, and on water. It can easily be transported from the producing areas to consuming areas with the help of tankers and more conveniently by pipelines. It emits very little smoke and leaves no ash and can be used to the last drop. It provides the most important lubricating agents and is used as an important raw material for various petrochemical products. It is the main source of many products like petrol, kerosene, and diesel oil, paraffin wax, Vaseline, and benzene. It is used to make paints, medicines, plastics, and fertilizers. It is the most important raw material for chemical industry. Distribution of petroleum. Oil was first discovered in India at Makum in the northeast part of Assam in 1867. In order of importance, the main areas of mineral oil deposits are offshore sea at Mumbai High, Basin, and Eliabet, Digboy, Naharkatia, Rudrasagar, and Nunmati in Assam. In Gujarat, Ankaleshwar, Koyali, Kalol, and Navgaon are the important oil fields. Others are Kosambar, Mehsana, Dolka, and Lunaj. Oil fields of India are of two types, namely onshore oil fields and offshore oil fields. Onshore oil fields in northeastern India. Digboy in Assam is the oldest oil field. Naharkatia, Rudrasagar, Bappapung, and Musimpur. Nigriu Kharasang in Tirap district in Arunachal Pradesh. In Nagaland, oil fields are Borbula. Onshore oil fields in western India. In Gujarat, important fields are Ankaleshwar, Kalol, Kosamba, Kathana, Mehsana, Ahmedabad, and Sanand. Onshore oil fields in southern India. Godavari Basin and Kaveri Basin have become now prospective oil fields of India. NGRI has identified hydrate gas reserves along the eastern coast in Krishna Godavari Basin. Offshore oil fields is in Mumbai High region out in Arabian Sea 152 kilometers northwest of Mumbai city. The name of the rig installed here is Sagar Samrat. Oil mining states, petroleum raising states of India are arranged in order of their annual production. Maharashtra, that is Mumbai High, Gujarat, Assam, Tamil Nadu, and Arunachal Pradesh. Bombay High, offshore oil field. ONGC discovered oil on the continental shelf area off the coast of Maharashtra, about 176 kilometers northwest of Mumbai in 1974. The structure containing oil in Mumbai High and basins is named as Sagar Samrat. Other offshore oil fields are at Basin, located further south of Mumbai High, and Aliabet Island, close to Bhavnagar in Gulf of Cambay. Another structure named Hira is also in operation. The region produces more than one-third crude oil output of India, and it is refined in the refineries of Trombay. Other oil fields apart from these areas, oil has also been discovered in Kaveri, Krishna, and Godavari basins. Possibility of oil has also been determined in Coromandel continental shelf area, Sundarban delta of Sher area, and Gulf of Cambay region. Jamnagar refinery is the world's largest private sector crude oil refinery. The refinery complex is located at Jamnagar in Gujarat. It is owned and operated by Reliance Industries. Advantages of petroleum. Petroleum is a fossil fuel that accumulates in porous rocks from fossils of plants, animals, and other organisms that lived millions of years ago. Some of the advantages of petroleum are as follows. It can be extracted easily. Modern technologies for extracting oil beneath the ocean's surface or with special climatic condition. It has high density. The average 1 kilogram of burnt oil can generate up to 10,000 kilocalories. It means that for only small amounts, petroleum can generate a substantial amount of energy. It can be extracted at low cost due to the fact that petroleum products require reduced technical and physical effort. It is sold cheaper compared to other sources of energy. It can easily be transported because it is in liquid form. Disadvantages of petroleum. Although oil is a natural fossil fuel, its resource is now limited. The high demands of modern world for energy have stressed the conventional sources of oil reserves. Environmental pollution. Extracting and burning oil generates greenhouse gases that contribute to environmental pollution and global warming. It is non-renewable form of energy. Petroleum is a non-renewable form of energy resource. Once burned to generate electricity, it cannot be replaced. The depletion of fossil fuel leads to limited supply of petroleum. This leads to increase in prices, which may cause conflict between nations. Therefore, it is necessary to find alternative energy resources.